This is a guide to the conclusion for the final interpretive essay. In the conclusion, there are 4 elements that need to be included: a restatement of the thesis, context, cultural significance, and identity. The conclusion should begin with a reiteration of the thesis statement, which is your main argument. In the conclusion, you should inform the reader how your essay managed to demonstrate your point of view, and the tone should be positive. In the conclusion, you want to have a feeling of completion. When restating the thesis, you do not need to repeat it verbatim. Notice here how the author reinterprets the thesis statement, and the story's setting contributes greatly to this ever-increasing atmosphere of horror, as Poe's treatment of time and place cause the reader to anticipate dread and be absorbed in the unfolding action. And in the conclusion, in the restatement, we hit those main points, particularly the focus on time and place. Hence, the manner in which Poe has described both time and place in the Cask of the Amontillado serves as greatly to enhance the effect of this tale upon the reader. The next element to consider is context. When we talk about context, we're talking about why is this story important? What does it matter? Context defines how the literature fulfills its promise to the reader, and if the theme is clear and strong enough that it can relate not only to the reader's world, but to a larger presence. When we think of the context of the things they carried, what is the significance of the literature when we consider it in a larger perspective? What other kinds of stories reflected or contemplated war or death? When we talk about cultural significance, there's 2 areas to consider. It's like 2 sides of a coin. What influenced the story from the author's point of view? What in his culture made an impact on the story? And how does the story have relevance to your world, to your culture? When we think of identity and we think about ourselves, we're thinking about the collective characters that make us unique. But in literature, we're looking at the whole piece, the plot, the characterization, the setting, the tone, the style. When we consider all of those things together, what do they say about identity? What do they say about us as individuals? And does the identity of the story portray what the author had hoped to portray? So that's a review based on the rubric of the considerations that you should have in your conclusion. The restatement of the thesis, some thought about the context of the story, its significance to the larger world of literature, the larger world of information. We talk about context, we talk about where the story is set, what it means, its theme. How does that relate to in a broader sense? We talk about cultural significance. How does culture impact your interpretation of the text? And how did it impact the author's writing of the text? And finally, when we talk about identity, we're looking for the significance of the whole into the intent and goal. And where does that fit in relationship to both you and the literature?